let's do some deck boards quick. So in order to do a deck board, we're gonna go like this. A deck board is we're gonna be 38.5 inches wide. We'll go to rectangle. We're gonna go 38.5, comma space 5.5. The deck board is almost the size of a 2x6, but it's not quite as thick. Then we're gonna hit enter. Okay. Now a deck board is only 1.25 inches thick instead of 1.5 inches. So we'll do push pull, just like this. And then we'll do 1.25, enter. And then we're gonna highlight this. Actually, let's zoom in. Deck boards actually have rounded ends to them. And so there's a way we can do this. What's that one? So we can't draw a 3-point arc on here. Nope, escape, Control Z. And something similar to that. We did push pull. Pushes all the way to the edge. 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 Something similar to that. That looks like a deck board. Okay, we might need to push this all the way through. So I'm still on push pull. I'm gonna come here and zoom it all the way to the edge and finish up this edge too. Okay. So there's my deck board. That actually looks like identical to a deck board. Perfect. I'll write into the description of what I did. You want to make sure you're at a 3-point arc, and you're going to start by using the midpoint and get your edges like that, and just try to do it like I do. Okay. Now we're going to go like this. We're going to go back to that, and we're going to highlight the whole thing, make it a component. Like this. Make component. Board. Save. Okay. So now we're going to do Control C, Control V, Control V. Let's stop and copying them right now. Hey everybody. Sorry to be yelling, I guess. My voice is a little loud. I am going to do a quick video that I will be adding into the big video itself to show you a little bit more a way to make this span of deck boards going on to be a little bit faster. And then I can cut out a few things potentially, or you guys will be able to fast forward potentially. You got to see which way I'm going to go with it. But I'm in the editing process right now, and I'm just got to the deck board portion of it. And I just created the deck board. I edited and added directions on how to create this deck board and make the edges curved just like this. then we made it a component. I was on the pasting portion and I thought I should do a video that will make it so that it's a faster process to adding these in. And that way, when I add this into the other video, we'll be able to do it much faster than it was the first time that I was creating it in person, um, because I was doing it for the first time ever, and manipulating this made it a little difficult. So here's what we're going to do. Okay. So the first thing we did, where I left off in the last one, is we were working on copying and pasting these in here. So you highlight the whole thing, or you can just click on it because it's a component, and do Control C and then do Control V. And we're just going to have two deck boards sitting next to each other side by side, just like this. Okay. Spacing between deck board to deck board, we want to leave 1/8 of an inch in the middle of that. So how we're going to do this, if we think about studs, and we, like when we lay out a wall, we do stud 16 on center. That means that if we were to make these studs from the center of this board to the center of this board would be the same distance. With if this were a stud and this were a stud, and we made the 16 on center, the distance from this stud to the distance to this stud would be exactly 16 inches. We only want 1/8 of an inch gap. If we wanted to make it no gap, if we don't want to have any gap at all, what we would do is we would piece them out from the center of this one to the center of the next would be the same distance as the width of these, which is 5.5. We want to leave 1/8 of an inch gap on there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start by grabbing a pencil. We're going to find the midpoint. We're going to draw it down just a little bit. We want to find the blue line just like that. Okay? Doesn't matter how far down you draw it, just make sure you have a blue line. Then we're going to measure over. Now it's going to be turning green. And it already is coming up exactly what we want to type, 5 5/8. The reason for that is if we make a line that goes sideways, 5 5/8, and then draw the line up, when I place the center of this one onto here, it's going to have that 1/8 inch gap that we want, because these are the exact same. They're the exact same. So to make it 5 5/8, to type it in, you're going to go 5.625. 5.625. 625 is 5/8. So 5.625, and then you're going to hit enter. Once you hit enter, you're going to draw a line up the blue, and you can see that it locks in. If it doesn't lock in, hover over top of the last line and then bring it back like we did the ruler. So you're going to hover over top like this and then bring it back, and then a green line. You can kind of see it if I zoom in a little bit more. There's a green dotted line that pops up when I do that. Let's try to have it so it's on the blue background so you can see it. So there's a green line that pops up. Let me make it so you can see it a little better. Maybe if we go this way. If we come here and bring this across, the green dotted line should pop up. You can see it very lightly right now. And then when it snaps into blue, right now, if I look at this, if I move it, if I click or move it, anything. So if I leave it right here, you should be able to see a green dotted line coming from the top of the original line that we started with to there. That means that when I draw that up and it locks in with a green dotted line, that means it's on the same plane. So if I click on this and then hit escape, and then go to the move tool, click on the center line of this. When I find the center line, move until it locks into the midpoint, and then put this on top of here. If you look right down the middle of this, there should be 1/8 of an inch gap. Let me click off of this. Whoops, Control Z, escape. If I look down the middle of this now, you can see that there's 1/8 of an inch gap on there. Okay, having these two boards is good, but let's do a couple more so that these can be added into a big long chain. Let's add another. So we're gonna grab a pencil again. We're gonna zoom out a little bit on here, move over 5.625, enter, and then draw a line up. It should, if we need to, you can come back here. It should snap in. If you need to, come here like this. You'll see that that line pops up and it turns green. You'll see the green dotted line and then it'll snap into blue. That means we have it where we want it to be. Hit escape. Now, we're going to copy all of this, switch back to arrow. We're going to highlight all of this. Control C, Control V. Escape. Control C, Control V. Oops, that's why it's doing that. They highlighted that. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Y, Control Y, Control Y. Okay, now I need to click off of this. I need to not grab that line. I need to go just like this. So highlight the whole thing. Control C, Control V. We're just going to place it somewhere where I can see it. Then we're going to grab the move tool. We're going to select this part right here and then drop it right onto the edge of that line, just like that. Even though we have lines, even though that we have an overlap of a vertical line like that, that's completely okay. If I were to paste it again, if I were to hit escape and then paste again and drop this in here, we'll just put it next to the side here like this. Look at that. Line up. Yep. You can go right onto the next one, just like this. Control V, and then it go right onto the end of that point. And so now I'm just dropping these in here just like this. Control V, Control V, onto the next one, Control V, onto the next one. Now I got a pretty good span going. And I'm going to need to have, let's see how many I need to have on this for the long span. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I'll need 19 of those. So I'm going to do it a few more times. Right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I need to do this 3 more times to give me 20, and we can delete one when we get done. Control V again. On the end of that, Control V again. Click on the end of that, Control V again. Click on the end of that. Now we should have 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now that we have 20, what we can do is we're going to use the eraser and we're going to erase all of these lines underneath because we can erase them now. So grab the eraser tool, you're going to click and hold and then let the lines turn blue. Make sure you don't touch the deck boards. Just going to be very careful with your mouse. Just going to go through these until they all turn blue. As many as on the screen right here as I have. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to zoom in. Whoops. I'm going to do the same thing with these. Just going to go right across here like this. Oh, whoops. Control Z. I thought I might do that eventually. Just going to go right along the edge right here, just like this. Try not to hit the deck boards. And to make it so that I have 19 of them, because that's how many are in the span going up the hill. You have a big long plane like this. Here's what you're going to do. Zoom out and look above it just like this. Grab the arrow, highlight it, and then we can go to the rotate tool. We can rotate this entire thing to 12 degrees because that is actually, before we do that, we're going to do this. We're going to hit Control C, Control V, copy another section for the opposite side, and then Control V again to have a section for the middle. It's going to make this assembly of this go a lot faster for you. By doing that, it will make it go a lot faster for you. So you're going to have 3 sections. We'll highlight this. We didn't make it a component, so we can rotate all of these independently as long as they are all selected. So still have it all selected. All of these are blue, so it's all one big selection. You're going to click on the rotate tool. Want to have the red edge come up like this. You can click on the bottom of this and then zoom out to the opposite end and we want to click on the same plane, anywhere along the bottom, you can be able to do that. We're going to type in 12 and hit enter. That side is done. Now we're going to go to this other side and we want to rotate the other way. So we're going to start on the opposite end along the bottom. We'll click here. And literally, it can be anywhere else on the bottom as long as they're all highlighted. Whoops, I didn't highlight the whole thing. We're going to switch back to the arrow tool. Highlight the whole thing. And then go to the rotate tool. When the red protractor pops up, we can click on the bottom and click anywhere else in the bottom, and then it will start to rotate down. We're going to type in 12 and hit enter. Now this section is ready to be put into place. And then the middle section, we're going to probably have to delete some boards for the middle section. Let me zoom out. Sorry for the confusion of zooming out and zooming in. Just to kind of show you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We need to delete 6 of those deck boards on the flat section. So when we gotta go to get rid of 6 of them, so we're gonna click off, use the arrow tool, click off to unhighlight that. Use the eraser, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should be 13 now. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now we have all 3 of these sections completed. So the deck boards the reason I'm doing it this way is so that all of the boards will line up more evenly this way, and they'll be able to be put in a lot easier this way rather than doing how I did it on the video. So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to see if I can't delete all of the deck boards. Oops, I don't want to delete the whole thing. I need to do Control Z. I just want to delete the deck boards. So I can add this clip to the end of the video to make it go faster. Whoops, Control Z. Actually use the move. We can use the move tool. We'll move the whole thing out of there. So move the frame out of there. That way the frame is bare, or you might call it naked. And I'm going to delete all of these right here. I'll highlight all of them and hit delete. All of the hard work that I did. But I got thinking about this and how I can make it better for you guys. And this is how we can make it better. So now we have the frame. We're back to where we were on the opposite edge. We're going to start by we'll start by placing the parts along the top right here so that we can get the boards placed where they need to go. Start out, we're going to grab a pencil. We're going to find out where these intersect. So you're going to go scroll in. You'll scroll into where you see an X where the 2 boards meet. And you're going to line across just like that. You only need to do it in one place. Okay. We're going to hit escape. We're going to zoom out. And we're going to grab the edge closest to us but farthest away from the bridge. We're going to highlight this section right here like this. And we're going to grab the move tool. We're going to grab this corner right here of the component. Notice that we didn't grab the actual deck boards. We're grabbing the corner of this selection. We're going to zoom out, and then we're going to zoom in to the line that we just drew. We're going to put it right on the edge, just like this. Okay. And now notice, even though we haven't been able to get rid of the top, this should be placed where the placement of this is going to end right where the boards start to go down. Okay. Next, we can do, it doesn't matter which one we do next, we can highlight the one that's closest to us, just like this. Then we'll zoom in and grab the move tool. And then select, we're not going to select the corner of the deck board, we're going to select the corner of the component right here like that. Then we'll zoom out. I'm using a mouse to make it easier for us to move things around. So we're going to go on this corner and we're going to slide it this way just a little bit. Go to that corner and then we're going to slide it out just like this till we get it to lock in about 1.5 inches. If you wanted to, you could draw a line on the end of one of them to get it to lock in, but I'm just kind of using an eyeball because it's about the same as what it was in the other one. Wow, that's really wide. How long are these deck boards? How long did I make these deck boards? Let's look at one of the deck boards. Hit escape. Get the tape measure. Holy cow. I mean, these deck boards, maybe I made them 48.5. I don't know. We can easily shorten these up by going like this. You go to push pull, and we should be able to, because we're going to be doing one of them, it should be able to shorten everything up. So what you got to do is you're going to go to the line, and we're going to use the midpoint. Whoops. Type in 38.5. Hit enter. Hit escape. Then you're going to grab the arrow tool, click on this, right click, edit component. We're going to use push pull. We're going to push this into, we want to push it into the end of that line just like this. And then if we zoom out, everything changed to get it to be the length that we want it to be. That was a really simple way to do it. Hit escape. Okay. Notice that it ends close to where we want it to end. We might be able to pick up the section and move it this way. We'll see where the other one shakes out. This might be too far that way. We'll have to see. We'll hit escape. We'll click on the arrow, click off, and then it should lock it in. We might be able to move that over a little bit. Let me see what this looks like down here. Yeah, that's that line that we just drew. So we can click on this line that's in the middle. Keep that so it's done. And then we're going to go to the other section, which these should already be short. They should have been made shorter. We're going to zoom in. We want to click, get in so we're only highlighting just deck boards. Click to the arrow, move it like this. Then we're going to use the move tool and we'll select on this bottom corner this time. Move tool, zoom in to the bottom of this last one. Click on that corner of the component, zoom out so you can see the bridge. Pan. What I just did right there, when I got that last part to pop up, was when you're using a mouse, if you right click while you're using it, you can change it to pan. And to change it over, then select, go back to the move tool, and it should have that where it was. So I'm going to highlight, hover over top of this to this corner, and then shift this over to the side. Well, click on that corner, rotate it so you're looking at the end of it like this, so we keep it the same height. And then move it, rotate it so you're looking at up the edge, just like that, and then move it over this way. Gotta be careful that it's gonna try to pull away from you. So you might grab it in a new spot, just like this. Grab it here, move it over this way to there. Actually, that works perfect. That worked perfect. I just grabbed it, that one lined up. And yes, it does go through there, but that's about perfect. We'll leave it just like that. Don't worry about this gap here. People can step over it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It will line up just perfect for what we need. That's an easy way to do it. It's much quicker. I just made the video a bit shorter. If I stop sharing this now, I'll be able to add this clip into the other portion. And I'll edit it and make the video about, I don't know, we'll see how much shorter I make it. There you go. Good job, Mr. Keenan. High five. Very nice. Great success.